Okay, today we're joined in the studio by Mr. Craig Reeder. How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing good. Good.
Wow.
Glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you, sir.
Yeah.
You're really well known. You're a singer, songwriter, and you're really well known in this area around town. You know, when I looked at some of the pictures of you earlier, I thought, well, I've probably seen you in all these places. You know, I just didn't know who you were.
It's a small town.
Yeah. So, are you from Tallahassee?
No, I grew up in Miami.
Miami.
My wife and I both came to college at FSU long ago, left after college. But in 99, we were in a situation where we kind of were moving to some place we could choose anywhere we wanted. And we loved Tallahassee. So we came here and figured we'd be able to find a job. And I was really lucky. I got a job teaching accounting at FAMU, which I loved. I did that for 15 years. And we just love this place. We're never going to leave it.
Oh, okay. So you're a teacher?
I was before I retired. No. I was a career accountant before that, but then when we came here, I was very lucky to get a job teaching accounting at FAMU, and I just love doing that.
Yeah, teaching people, that's a great skill.
Yeah.
Good communicator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most kids, the teachers, they look at them and they go, I don't want to listen to you. So you're born in Miami, raised in Miami?
I wasn't born there, but both my parents were originally from there, and I grew up in Miami.
Oh, okay. Somebody in your family was musical? They got you interested?
Music, and a lot of music in my family, particularly on my father's side. He played the guitar and banged on the piano a little bit, and yeah, so it was always around.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a big influence.
Yeah.
When you're a little kid and you see the giant playing the guitar.
Yeah, and my father died when I was 10, and I sort of inherited his beat-up old guitar, which my mother had bought him at a pawn shop many years before.
Really?
Yeah, and then in high school I got into classical music, and but played guitar too, and so I've just always been doing music in some form or other.
Wow, okay. When did you get your first instrument?
First grade. They passed out, everybody got a recorder, a free recorder. I took it home and started playing it on the way home.
I'm trying to figure what you can hold in first grade. Is it a ukulele or something?
Yeah.
Big uke.
It was a great day for me.
Recorder. Does every kid play recorder?
I think.
Yeah, in public school anyways.
Definitely in Florida.
I think.
And you left there. How old were you when you left Miami?
I left Miami to go to college. And then a lot of places in between. Spent 9 years living in China when I worked in the oil business.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Do you speak Mandarin or anything?
I did when I lived there, and I still, it's rusty now, but yeah. And I played music with what was at that time probably the only blues band in Beijing, China. They were really good too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were all conservatory students. That was fun.
Well, this is an interesting conversation to have off to the side later because Susan's son, Jackson, lived in China for 8 years and was his goal was to be a rock star in China.
Cool.
Speaks fluent Mandarin, long blonde hair, blue eyes, and played like you said, like yourself. And
Very cool.
Played primarily with some Chinese nationals, but with a lot of expats.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So and he was in Suzhou.
Suzhou. Oh,
yeah, but nice. I think that was built probably after you were there, or did it exist? Because I knew it was built for the Olympic Games or something like that.
Well, you may be thinking of something else because Suzhou's been around for several millennia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must be thinking about another town then.
You're thinking of something else. I don't know what, but yeah.
Okay. So when did you get to Tallahassee? I mean,
99.
99.
Again, both my wife and I went to college here, but we came back here in 99 and I've been living here ever since and intend to stay here.
Yeah, were you playing gigs all this time?
Off and on, not exactly gigs, but I did a lot of busking. I lived in Houston for a while, and I started doing a lot of busking there and songwriting and that sort of thing.
You got courage, man. I mean, I just never could imagine doing that.
Yeah, actually, when I started, I was very insecure, very self-conscious, and kind of had stage fright to the extent you can have stage fright on a sidewalk. But I got over it, just by doing it, it eventually just went away,
Oh, I'd be scared to death,
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I did solo gigs and things like that in high school and college times, I played by myself, but I hide behind a band.
Let me just put this right out front that, I've been playing music all my life, but I was never good enough to play a gig per se. And it was only when I met Adrian, this incredibly talented person, and we formed this duo called Hot Tamale that we started I was able to get gigs. Sometimes I refer to us as mutual enablers. I mean, that it's because of my collaboration with her that I've been able to do the kind of music I'm doing now. I would never have been able to do that by myself.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. How long have you guys been playing together?
About 11 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that's why your harmony's tight now, because you just know, you know where the other person's going to be.
When you sing the same song a lot,
that really helps repetition,
Yeah.
I know the guys in the band, they go, we're going to sing this, we're going to play this again in practice, and I go, yeah, I'm going to play it until we get it right.
Yeah.
And or until you play it, from just rote memory.
Yeah.
And then it becomes fun. I said, now you guys don't have to practice anymore. You guys can have fun playing the song.
Yeah.
So you're a songwriter also.
Oh, yeah. I've been doing that for a long time.
You do that before you started doing gigs? I mean, is this something you did all along?
I started, actually, I wrote a song or two in high school that's just totally trash. But I started in earnest in maybe 89, 90 when I lived in Houston. And actually got a song or two on local radio once or twice.
Wow.
But, nothing to write home about.
Well, that's pretty aggressive, though. I mean, confident to go out there. Did you record it yourself, or do you have someone else record the?
Some of the songs I did, I recorded myself on very crude equipment, but I did go into a studio and did one recording that I think it won a second place in a songwriting contest and was played on the local. The public radio there.
Yeah. But my question really, I guess, was you were the person performing the song on the recording. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
It made it to the radio.
Well,
I mean, I was just listening to somebody the other day, and they said their goal in life was to be on a recording on the radio.
Yeah.
And I think it was Chuck Leavell who I was listening to.
Chuck Leavell?
Yeah, he said that was his goal in life, was to get on a recording to hear it on the radio.
Well, I'm not bashful, so I'm just going to jump right in here. Adrian wrote a song, and in 2018, we recorded it down in Choppy with Rick Ott producing. And it was played in over 100 radio stations around the country. It hit #1 on the Indie World Country Record Report. And we have a second song now that's being played on over 80 stations around the country, and it's ranked on a couple of roots music charts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah. It's now, there's not a penny to be made doing this, but it's very rewarding.
Yeah. I mean, there's two reasons you do things. One is for personal satisfaction.
Yeah.
And the other one is, sometimes the money's just a reward,
Well, I was in a band in high school, and it was a really fun band with 2 trumpets, and we did weddings and bar mitzvahs and big parties and stuff like that. A lot of soul music with the 2 trumpets. Great. And I was a lead guitar player, but I learned the most important lesson in my life, music-wise, that I had really good nights and I had really bad nights, and I knew that I didn't have that consistency that you would need to make a living making music. So I knew right then I would never make a living doing music.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I figured that out early on, because that has freed me to make the music I want to make myself and not have to figure out what sells and what will get me into a paying gig.
Yeah, what's commercial.
And that's just been, that was a really valuable lesson for me to learn early on.
Okay. Let's take a look and say, who is this young guy here?
Okay. I think that was in college days.
Is this the original choreography for what's that movie with Tom Cruise?
They say
Business.
They say you don't remember the '60s. I'm not sure. I don't remember what was going on there, but you can see I was having fun.
Well, yeah, certainly having a good time. Who are these people right here?
That's an early Hot Tamale performance. It looks like downtown. We played a lot of times at the, first of all, it's springtime Tallahassee. We would play in that spot, and we still do oftentimes. And also at the downtown market, the Saturday market downtown.
Okay, and I'm sure I've seen you guys down there.
Probably you have, yeah.
When I'm down there, I'm looking for the guy who makes the jalapeno bread.
Yeah.
I'm like a surgical insurgent when I go shopping.
Yeah.
Bam, get what I want.
Yeah.
When you play out, do you play original music mostly, or?
Well, we
mixture?
Find, you can't play all original music because, the covers really catch people. And we try to play as much original as we can. And rarely we will have really good gigs where people are actually sitting listening to us and we'll play all originals. Those are rare. But on average, I'd say we play about 2/3 cover, 1/3 original. We got to sneak them in.
Yeah, right. You salt them in throughout the
Yeah.
night. Yeah, I know. You grab them with the covers and, okay,
Yeah.
well, we got
Yeah.
you check this out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that Blue Bar. Is that the name of the bar?
Blue Tavern.
Blue Tavern. I'm thinking
Yeah.
that's the kind of place where you could play all originals.
Well, yes.
The appreciative audience.
The Blue Tavern is, for this whole region, the number one place for any acoustic music. If you're an acoustic musician, that's the place you want to play more than anywhere else in the world. And for us, we are not A-listers. We're not B-listers. We're someone down there. It's really, really hard for us to get in, but we have a few times, and it's been fabulous. And we are preparing to have we were going to do a gig there not so long ago, and when the fourth wave of the pandemic hit, we had to cancel it. It was so painful. It was going to be an R&B happy hour. We're going to do all R&B music. We had to cancel it because of the pandemic, but we still have scheduled on, I think it's November 6th, our CD release party at the Blue Tavern for our upcoming CD that's named Veteran Hearts.
Okay. Yeah. Adrian was talking about that.
Yeah.
It was a theme album.
But we love the Blue Tavern, and we try to get in there any chance we can. We've played some really good gigs there, but we hope to play even more there in the future.
Wow. Well, now you got me kind of antsy to think about Blue Tavern, you know?
Yeah. Now, it's very small.
Acoustic set.
It's very small.
Well, I would. Yeah, I'd do it totally acoustic. I'd do a whole completely different than what I do out on the big stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you got me excited about that.
Yeah.
Who are these? Adrian said you guys were kind of showmen.
Oh, we are such hams. We were doing a kind of vaudevillian act for a while. We did this one thing called the Choppy Home Companion, which was kind of patterned after Garrison Keillor's show, and we used costumes, and we did a shtick, funny stories and stuff like that, and we do that whenever we can. There was a few years where we played fairly regularly at Mickey Faust's Playhouse, and we would do the more theatrical stuff.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Which we love doing, but there's only so many opportunities to do that.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that's we saw a shot of her where she was in an evening type dress, and it had some stage lighting, and it was dark, and there was a spotlight on her. I wonder if that was something from Mickey Faust or something.
That was probably Monticello Opera House at a big music event called From the Heart Music Hour or something like that. That was probably what that photo was.
Yeah, because that was a great shot, and it looked like there was a real emotional packed song she was doing. You know, you can almost see like a Billie Holiday or somebody, scenario.
In fact, she arrived that day from out of town. She'd been with her husband visiting family up north, and she was sick, if I remember. And Frank Lindemood gave her a little shot of whiskey to try to get her up on stage, which she never, ever, ever would normally do. But it sort of got her through. And then, we played a real good show that time.
Well, sometimes you get that scratchy throat, you need something to...
Yeah. Medicinal purposes.
Medicinal only, yeah. Here's the Hot Tamales.
In the early days, we used to play at Barnacle Bill's. You can see in the background, their
porch.
outdoor little patio area. And there you can see it says Open 11 a.m. Hot Tamale Live, and then Monster Bucket of something, I don't know what's underneath that. And typically the only people to be out there would be the smokers,
Yeah.
But, we played on that in that space a number of times when we were first starting. And it was good. Good place
to be. First week or so, I moved to Tallahassee. I was sitting out there with a lady I played tennis with, and that's when I met Mike Lanigan. He was doing a one-man gig on that front porch. Yeah. And I said, "Do you know how to play this? You know how to play this? He's, Paul Simon stuff like that." No. He said, "You know how to play him?" I go, "Yeah, let me show you." So I got up and played the guitar and did about 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
And the young lady was like, "Well, you can play." I said, "Yeah."
Yeah. Okay, here's a shout out to Mike Lanigan. He's a great guy, and what he does for this community is just fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
I've been involved for some time in his annual harmonica championship thing that he does. In the past, it's been at the BBC, and that's great, but he does so many other wonderful musical things.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to do an interview with him, so I was going through some pictures of his. and he had a big production. It's called The History of the Blues or something like that.
Yeah.
It's set in a church setting. I don't know if you've seen that or
No,
not.
I haven't.
Yeah, it was a big show they did, and
Wow.
and I'm just like, holy cow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And plus, I give him a shout out. You know, who else will let you a guy walk in the bar you don't know and hand you a guitar and let you play?
Yeah, no kidding.
Take the mic and play. You know,
No kidding.
So, yeah, I thought it was pretty gracious of him, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And so that was a long time ago I met him. You know.
Yeah.
What is this one?
That was the Sop Choppy Home Companion that we played in a little a place down in Sop Choppy. I don't remember what the name of the place was, but anyway, so we did this elaborate stage show with all kinds of shtick and funny stories, like a Garrison Keillor story, and nearly all original songs, if I remember. But Adrienne is. I don't know if you actually did any acting and theatrical work in college. I think she did, but she's a real natural at theatrical stuff, and I'm just a ham and not too embarrassed to give it a shot anyway. So
we didn't ask her about that because she mentioned theatrical and stuff. I didn't follow that line of thought. Were you involved in plays and whatnot, musicals in high school and stuff?
No, not at all. I was mainly doing classical music, but I will say the shtick that we worked up for this, we had these stories and we played these characters that were based on my Alabama relatives. So I was E.B. and she was Minnie Merle. Oh. Minnie Merle and E.B. were my father's aunt and uncle that lived in a little tiny town in Alabama that I would visit as a kid. So we used their kind of their names and their characters to build this funny shtick. And we would love to do this again anytime if we ever had the opportunity to do this kind of a sort of a vaudevillian show. Yeah. But it's just hard to find a chance to do that.
Did you spend a lot of time with your relatives in Alabama and stuff? I mean,
not too much time, no.
Not enough time to absorb kind of the culture or the feelings.
I was just an occasional observer as a little kid.
Okay. Yeah, because I kind of started off in the Carolina Mountains where my family's from. You know, it was all bluegrass and stuff, so I still have those roots inside of me,
Yeah.
Although I think I hated bluegrass for about 10 years. When I went to college, I was like, I never want to hear this stuff again.
Yeah.
But now I've come back to it because I realize we were talking with Adrienne about the purity of the notes,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the music's absolutely pure, and for me, I can hit harmony with those people any day, anytime.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, bluegrass is a style of music that Adrienne and I normally do not play, with one very notable exception, and that's the single release that's playing on the radio now. We created this bluegrass song, and it's there's a story that goes with it that has to do with another one of my Alabama relatives that I don't have time to talk about now. But anyway, we got Holly Riley to do the fiddle part, and I don't know if you know Holly Riley.
No.
She is possibly the best fiddle player on the planet Earth. But certainly the best fiddle player anyone in this whole area knows. She lived in Tallahassee for a while and recently moved on to some other place where she's got a PhD in music and teaching someplace. But anyway, this incendiary fiddle part, and my brother, who lives up in Arlington, my brother Rick, he's a really big bluegrass fan, and he knew this guy who was a DJ, Mike Keir. Now, Mike Keir lives in Australia and has a bluegrass program that he puts on in Australia, but it's syndicated, and it plays on the biggest bluegrass station in America, in the D.C. area. I can't remember what it's called, and he played our song right off the bat, and then we promoted it to other stations. So we have a bluegrass song that's on the radio now, and it's the only bluegrass song we've ever done. So, anyway.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Tell us about these two people here.
Okay, this was 4th of July in Sop Choppy, Florida. Oh, we love Sop Choppy. And they have a big 4th of July thing. And we were doing probably some old blues song or maybe a Beatles song. I don't remember which song that one was. But anyway, it's a great shot with the flag in the background there. They have this big giant American flag that flies in the background. I think we met... what was the name of that group? The guys, the brothers that sing the Currys.
Oh,
we met the Currys
sure.
there, and they were so nice, and they were maybe the headliners that day. But that was very memorable.
Yeah, we saw them down at the warehouse. They were real impressive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there seemed like there was a lot going on at Sop Choppy at one time. I think I missed it. I moved here too late because I used to hear about the Sop Choppy Opera and all this stuff, and I'm like,
yep.
Where the heck's that?
We played at the Sop Choppy Opera one time, and it was great. And we used to record at the From the Heart studio with Rick Ott producing down there. Haven't in a while. It's a bit of a commute. But he's really, really good. And
well, this is another theatrical moment.
yes, Local Roots was a wonderful program produced by WFSU. Don't think they're producing it now anymore.
Yeah.
But part of that program was to bring on local musicians, and we were on that show once, maybe twice. I don't remember, and it was wonderful, wonderful.
This isn't a thing you do at 6 o'clock in the morning, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, because I got called to do something at 6:30 in the morning. And I thought, no.
Oh, that's the Sunrise show at that TV show station up in Midway. Yes, we've done that once or twice. Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I can't sing Where the Hoot at 6 o'clock in the morning. My voice is in the basement.
Well, Adrian and I will sing anytime, any place people will allow us to. So if it's 3 in the morning, we'll be there.
What? No, this looks familiar.
Yeah, we're in Clemens Plaza there in the little amphitheater. When and where and what we're doing, I don't recall, but it's a wonderful little spot. It's got the seating, the amphitheater seating there, and
I'm tempted to say what a waste, because I have seen that theater.
Yeah.
You're sitting at Harry's having drinks
Yeah.
or whatever, and I looked down. First time I ever saw it, I looked down and I saw this beautiful little stage with all it's the amphitheater, and I saw all these Fresnels and Licos, which are old-fashioned lights for the people listening that don't know. They're 500 and 1500 watt instruments, and they're all hanging on these trees, metal posts and bars and everything, and rusting.
yeah.
And I just thought, what an absolute waste.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's not being used.
Well, I called the city and I said, what it cost me to rent that? Because I said, I'll just rent it and just play there.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll get the restaurant and somebody else to kick in.
Yeah.
In fact, they can set a bar up. As far as I'm concerned, and the fee to rent it was like nothing, but it was the per hour charge for the number of policemen and city garbage collection workers you had to have during the fixed hours, and I'm thinking, well, here's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So that, right out the window, that idea. I had the same idea for Fifth Avenue between the realtor's office and Whataburger. It has a nice
That's a very
brick
nice
paver.
spot. Yeah.
I was going to block it off and put a trailer across there, and same thing. It's like $1.50 to rent it. And $2,000 for the
Insurance.
Well, it's insurance, but there's also the police and sanitation workers.
Yeah.
That's what killed me. Because it's so much an hour per policeman, and they tell you how many deputies there or whatever they have to have, and they tell you it's a fixed 4-hour block. So it's not like you can't have them show up when you're ready to start.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate.
Well,
Things like that
I'll tell
happen.
you, there's a number of times, I don't know if this was one of them or not, where we have just showed up there and just stood there and played, and he invited people to come. I mean, without any kind of permission of any kind whatsoever.
It's easier to ask forgiveness, isn't it? Is that what you're saying?
No one, no one who would be concerned would have any idea that we were there, because if you're not, in that area, you don't even see it. Yeah. But although we played there a couple times as part of somebody else's event, officially.
That's my alarm. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. And we sometimes create events of our own. For example, this coming Thursday, we're going to do something we've been wanting to do for years. On Thursday is Ray Charles' birthday.
Oh.
And we're going to go to Greenville, Florida, and we're going to stand by that wonderful statue of Ray Charles they have in the park there. And we're going to sing all the Ray Charles songs we know, which is a total of 3, maybe 4. And we've invited a couple of other musician friends of ours to come as well. They ran an article about that in the Limelight a couple of days ago, and they're going to print something about it in the local papers there. And so maybe some other people will show up. Maybe they won't. But anyway, we're going to do that on this coming Thursday.
Wow. I didn't appreciate Ray Charles until I got older. I don't know why. When I was young, it didn't really motivate me. But
yeah, me too.
Now I'm starting to listen to some of his stuff. Especially when you get to listen to Georgia and things like that. You feel the absolute emotion pour out of the guy.
Oh yeah.
I got to tell you, this picture here.
Yeah.
You remind me so much of Chet Atkins.
Chet Atkins, wow. Damn.
That looks like a picture of Chet Atkins because he always had his shirt and tie on.
One thing that Adrian liked to do is we like to branding of our band, and so if the situation is appropriate, we'll dress up for it. And it's not like a costume, but and particularly we really prize classy events, which we get rarely, but sometimes have, fundraisers and that sort of thing. And so if the situation is appropriate, we'll dress up for that to present this image.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to do that every now and then. I mean, we've totally lost that.
Yeah.
I was telling, I guess I was talking to Susan, I said, I don't think there's a restaurant in Tallahassee you have to wear a jacket. We just don't have that anymore. I miss that. Frankly, at the end of the day, I like dressing up a little bit, so it doesn't hurt my feelings, to look like that.
Yeah.
Now I got to ask you about what's happening with this one.
That was the Quincy Porch Fest, I believe. I think. Yeah, Quincy Porch Fest. Which is a wonderful event. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but once a year they invite people to come and play on the porches of the wonderful old houses that they have there. And that was an event that we thought would allow us to play all originals, which we did. And that because people actually sat in chairs and they listened to our songs. A lot of times we're just background music, but this was wonderful. Unfortunately, that was a really good picture. Would have been a good picture because Adrienne is off to the side, but her head was completely behind the end of my guitar.
Oh, is that behind your elbow?
No, she was on the right-hand side, so we couldn't use it as a promotional picture, but it was a good shot of me. So
That looks like a keyboard.
I was looking at his belt. That's what I thought.
I have a belt that's like a keyboard. Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Truly a vaudevillian, I'm telling you. Especially with the red bow tie.
It's all showbiz.
Well, it is. I mean, you can, if you play really well and sing really well, they might say you're pretty or something, but if you give them something to look at, the imagery, imagery's huge.
Yeah.
And this looks like another.
Oh, that's one of our favorite places. We haven't been there in a while, but Gadsden Arts Center, which is a marvelous, marvelous place in Quincy. Okay. And so there are a number of times when they've had opening receptions. They've invited us to play there, and that was one of them. And acoustics were very difficult because it's an old historic building, but for whatever reason. But they're wonderful events. We do a lot of art-related events. We play at Lemoyne quite often, and other kinds of things. We played at the 621 Gallery and some other places like that. We like those kind of things a lot.
Have you played at the Opera House up in, is it Moultrie?
Monticello.
Monticello.
In past years, we played there numerous times.
Yeah, what's it like? What's the acoustics like in that?
I think they're excellent in the main hall. We played in the main hall only once or twice, but several times we played in the lobby downstairs when they would have events down there where they can serve dinner and stuff like that.
Yeah. I played there a few years ago, and they said, "Do you want to play in the main hall or down here?" And I said, "Well, down here, people can." There's a bar and there's food and stuff. I said, well, hell, we'll play down here. People can enjoy themselves instead of sitting in the chairs looking at us, you know.
We played a Valentine's night gig there once and all dressed up, and it was wonderful. But we haven't been there in quite some time. They, doing different things now. I don't know.
Are they open? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know what's open and what's closed anymore.
Yeah.
There's that big guitar she was talking about.
There's that big guitar, the Gibson Western Classic. Yeah.
Guitar's almost as big as she is.
It's huge. It's enormous. We were doing, they had this thing a couple of years ago in Thomasville called the Sip and Stroll. So on Friday nights, people would, you could walk around town with your drinks. And they hired several different musicians to play at different places on the sidewalk. And it was a great event. They haven't been doing that last couple of years. So we haven't been back in a while. But that was a really good night that time.
Yeah. My aunt keeps calling me up and says, you need to come up here and play the first Friday or whatever it is. They have some big event up there. And I didn't want to do it before, but now it's open air. So, I might consider that because I like to play in open air these days.
Yes, we're struggling to find places to play that are open air.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, this looks like TV.
This is going back to WFSU, their program, Local Roots, when they were shooting us performing in the studio there.
Is this transmitted live or is this recorded for later?
Recorded for later.
Oh, okay.
Recorded for later. Yeah.
Very cool.
I think we were singing the Okra song, which is a song we wrote on our one of our CDs. I forget which one. It was the well, anyway.
It's got to be a story to it.
The Okra song.
Story.
Oh, it's a song that Adrian wrote. It's a great song.
Is this like what's his name? His Porcupine Pie. Neil Diamond. You ever heard his song Porcupine Pie?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think so.
He said the Okra song. Okay.
Yeah, the Okra song.
Yeah, he's got one called Porcupine Pie,
Uh-huh.
and you wash it down with vanilla soup.
Mm-hmm. Vanilla.
Let's talk about this. This looks like, again...
Now, this is a shot that John Owen took. This is one of John Owen's photos, and he's such a good photographer that we've used this shot and others in that same time many times for promotional purposes.
You can tell by the framing and lighting this John shot.
I don't remember where we were playing that day, but you know, you know the value of a good promotional photo. It's
Absolutely.
really, really useful.
Yeah.
And we have ask people to take pictures of us all the time, and maybe 1 in 100 might be good enough for that purpose, because it's a special purpose. And John took a series of them and this is one of several that we've used many, many times for promotional purposes.
Yep. I've been trying to get him to come out to the lake and do, because this new group I don't have any promotional photos. You know, all I've done is cropped them out of video, which is...
That's terrible. I know.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, he's your man.
Well, I crop them out of the video, and then I use those that software that makes them funky looking. You know?
Oh, really? Okay.
So it makes a bad photo, tolerable.
Really? I'll have to check that out.
So what are you doing nowadays? Is things opening up for you, or?
Well, we have a lot of opportunities to play. Actually, they're hard to get and hard to latch onto. But for example, we're going to be playing at the Craft House in about a month. I forget the exact date. Let's see. That's a really nice venue in Railroad Square. And I mentioned that our CD release party is coming up in November. We're playing First Friday at the Square Mug Cafe in Railroad Square.
Oh, okay.
That's a great spot, too, and First Fridays are a lot of fun there.
Oh.
Yeah, it used to be the Black Dog on the square, and we played there many, many times. We're really good in small spaces, and coffee houses is good. And the Square Mug, they built a stage out in the back there, so you can play outdoors there.
Yeah. It's hard for a duet to play any kind of size volume place. I mean, even Paul Simon's Central Park, they had a whole band behind them.
Yeah. Actually, we've played a number of times in places like the Cascades Park with the sound system, and we can fill the place with just the two of us.
The two of you playing?
We could have a really full sound. I don't know why it is that we do, but with our harmony, and sometimes I play harmonica, we can really make a full sound that sounds like a lot more than two people.
Mm-hmm. Earlier we were talking about writing and performing music that you've written versus performing cover tunes.
Yeah.
And the difference between them, the emotional impact they have on you, and your ability to deliver the emotion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be way different from stuff you write yourself.
Well, you're right. And, as you get older, you learn more and more about, the real heart of things, the heart of life. And one of the things that you learn about music is the bottom line is the emotion. The song conveys emotion. That's the number one thing that makes it work.
Yeah.
And how you get about that is really, really hard to say. And yes, with songs that you write yourself. And, I've learned so much about songwriting from Adrian because she's a professional writer. Let me just give you one example. She's written a lot of novels, and one of her novels has been published all over the world, and, the one she mentioned to you. But anyway, an example is what I refer to as a novelistic writing, where you'll create a character in your mind, and it might be some composite of something. It might be part your own self, might be part other person, and you'll place that character in an emotional situation, and then you'll just let that character tell a story. Mm-hmm. So it's like writing a novel, a little tiny miniature novel, and that's a way to create a song. Mm-hmm. But it's all about the emotion of the moment, and it could be a silly, stupid emotion. Like, for example, we recently put out 2 rock and roll songs, which we don't normally do, but I mean the straight ahead, bang bang rock and roll, and they're all about the immediacy of adolescent emotion. No subtlety to it all. It's just the energy and the naivety and the and they just balls to the wall feeling of being a teenager.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you guys must compliment each other then, because she writes stream of conscious, basically from our conversation. You write from a story perspective.
You know, as a songwriter, one of your big challenges is you can never be objective about your own songs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell if it's a good song or a bad song
It's
yourself.
It's a child of yours.
Because it's so part of you. And so it's really hard to know what's a good song and what's not unless you get feedback from other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, something that you have to do, because we can't judge ourselves. Is this a good... Every now and then you'll get a song you think, wow, it sounds like a really good song, and maybe you're right, but maybe you're not. You just can't really tell.
You just have to... I guess people they get lucky and write a song that just appeals to a large number of people, about some subject that, regardless of your positions on things, you can identify with.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of songs like that. I mean, Heartbreak, that's something everybody knows about.
Speaking of which, one of our songwriting models is Hank Williams. We love the music of Hank Williams because it's so simple. But you mentioned Heartbreak. It's so real, the feeling in a Hank Williams song.
Oh yeah, you're cheating heart, man.
Yeah, and so we've taken that as one of our songwriting models. This Hank Williams mentality of music, of just that just really basic, raw kind of emotion, just set to a very simple melody, 3 chords and all. Yeah.
God, I just flushed into my head that song. One day I passed you on the street and my heart fell at your feet. I can't help it. I'm still in love with you.
That's one of our regulars in our repertoire.
Is it?
Song.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, but you're right. I mean, that song is just, it doesn't matter who you are, I mean,
when I introduced
it hits everybody.
When I introduced that song when we performed, I said, this could possibly be the greatest love song ever written.
Yeah.
It's just so simple.
God, I think that one smacks us all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, is there anything you want to add to this, Craig, before we wrap it up today?
I'm known colloquially as the shameless promoter.
Hey, do it, man.
And so just one more time, Hot Tamale.
Yeah.
Go to Facebook, Hot Tamale Tallahassee. Our website is, you can Google Hot Tamale Tallahassee, it'll pop up. Mm-hmm. And let's see, there was something else, but I can't remember.
You got something coming in November, an event coming in November.
We're gonna have a CD release party in November for an up-and-coming CD called Veteran Hearts. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And again, it's been a real pleasure talking with you, Keith.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll look forward. Maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Great.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.